Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 12. We're here for round 12 out of 20. It's the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps. This amazing track, one of the best in the world. We have 14 drivers at the moment, awaiting 2 more to join in qualifying. We have one driver who has to serve a qualifying ban. That is Simon, who's headed out immediately. He just needs to pull off track, wait for about 10-15 seconds, and the game will disqualify him. There we go. There we go, Christian's joined, he's one of them, and Yonder should be the other one. Perfect. As the rest gear up out of the pit lane exit, down to Eau Rouge and up through Radion. And yeah, Simon, who caused a few incidents last week, has gone from 5 incident points to 10. So yeah, quali ban, and if he continues his actions, then that will be a race ban. So hopefully he'll have learnt, got his act together a little more, and yeah, he'll be starting at the back. As his car will disappear soon. There we go. Right. Drivers heading out to the track then. Oh, Birdie's left. Right. There we go. Christian will be getting into his McLaren, and then Yonder hopefully will be joining soon. I wonder if Birdie may have forgotten his setup, so he's just quickly heading onto time trial or something. There we go, he's back. Right, we've got Dead Gun moving out of the way of all the cars. We've got Sauber, who I believe no one started a lap yet. This is obviously the longest track on the entire calendar, but yeah, Adam's back after, I think, breaking his finger a few weeks ago, so he's back driving, which is great to see. Been promoted to the Sauber, getting his first back-to-back points finishers as he heads straight into the pit lane actually, so he will not begin a lap. It will be Cookster instead, who comes around the final corner then to gear up to start the first flying lap. I believe some cars in front of him, Mercedes and McLaren. But yeah, diving into turn 1 goes the Red Bull then. A Red Bull who could have been on pole at the Red Bull ring, as that's slightly wide over the red curb to show how wide he went. But obviously got impeded. But his qualifying has been looking better and better recently. I think he qualified, what was it, 3rd? A career best 3rd? 4th, 5th? Something like that. He's working ever more towards that front row start and maybe even pole position. So we'll see what he can do as the first sector split comes at you now. It's a 30.5 into Les Combes then. Diving right then left. The corners come at you. Sector 2, the most technical part of the racetrack. They'll obviously be wanting low downforce with the wing levels, but this is the part of the track where you do need it. It stops them running practically 0-0. Through No Name, which has been renamed, but I won't call it that. Into Pouon for the first time. Lovely stuff on the Red Bull. Keeps it planted. He looks pretty comfortable at the moment here. And I, for one, really want to see him right up there fighting for the podium and the win, getting his first after joining at the end of last season. It's only a matter of time, I think, for the Red Bull. Makes its way through the end of the second sector, 14.7. As now it's just the long run through Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane. You hold on to the throttle. It's going to be interesting with battery. I don't really ever show battery during qualifying, but as you can see, he's already deployed it all. You have to be very strategic when it comes to battery around here. The lap's just that long and you only have a certain amount of battery to blast. So you got to be very careful. Exits the final corner, a little squirrely through the bus stop. This is the lap time they've all got to beat then at the start. 43.5 as the Aston behind him of... Who is that? It's not Oren, it's Callum. Goes 1,000th slower than Cookster right at the end there. Fair enough. His teammate Oren, championship leader, by 43 points now, ahead of Samurai in second. Toby and Grush trailing 3rd and 4th after neither scoring any points last week. It was Yannick and Yonder, the 2 RBs, in 5th and 6th that managed to close the gap to 3rd and 4th. So there could be a 4-way fight for 3rd in the standings at the moment, as it looks like the only one kind of close to challenging Oren is Samurai. But we'll see, 15-7 middle sector, so that's a whole second off what Cookster was doing. But I think Samurai will be going again. He's pulled all the way over to the left. So yeah, he will definitely be going again. Birdie, Samurai's teammate, on his outlap, moving out the way of the Alpina Cal there. That might have been a bit of slipstream, or maybe just saw him late. I don't know, but he's finally out after leaving the session earlier. Christian's in his car, still waiting on Yonder. But yeah, we've got Eggy back in the Mercedes. Good to see. He's actually full-time back in the Mercedes as well. So hopefully, maybe we can see the old Eggy return, you know. He's had some great moments here in Spa in the last couple of seasons. That amazing double overtake on the last lap. As Grush looking to make a bit of history today. He's been on pole for the last 5 races in a row. That is a record equaling amount of races of 5 in a row. If he gets pole today, he will be the first driver ever in EXFL Tier 2 at the ripe old age of 43 to take 6 pole positions in a row in EXFL Tier 2. So yeah, 4 tenths clear Cookster, who will be heading into the pit lane. Callum just in front of him. Eggy went 7 tenths behind. Samurai going again, so he's already pulled over to the left. Alright, his battery's alright. Deadgun went a few seconds off. Birdie will begin his lap soon. Cal's just finishing his lap as he's exiting the bus stop now. Cal, who finished 12th and last, unfortunately, last time out, will be hoping for a little better. Goes P5 for now. Oren shows his cards to Grush. 3.5 tenths deficit, so Grush has got some work to do if he wants to make history today. Oren, who's had 1 pole this season, and it was the opening race, is the championship leader. It's a lot more come race day where he's able to show what he's made of. 6 wins so far this season for the Aston Martin, 15 overall, as Samurai now shows his cards too. 55 thousandths off the Aston Martin. 1-2 in the championship, are 1-2 on the grid at the moment. And what about Birdie? Always the big mystery. 30.6 in the first sector. The wild card, that was what I was trying to get at. Birdie, who you know, could have been a lot better in Hungary, but that mistake at the exit of turn 2, spun into the wall, finished down in 9th. He was the odd one out, as he was the only one who started on hards compared to everyone on the mediums. He does like a different strategy. Remember, it was here, what was it, a season or 2 ago? He qualified 3rd, but he lost it on the opening lap at Les Combes. And once again, promise just turned into disappointment. So maybe this can be a better race for him today. Obviously, Silverstone started his, like last season, charged to the front again. And it's looking good. As Fnatic goes nearly 5 seconds off the pace, he'll definitely go again. No changes at the moment to the front. But Birdie just has pretty much 2 corners to go. He's got the Aston just in front of him. Is that Oren? Yes, Oren will be heading into the pit lane. Might be a slight eyesore for the Williams. Let's check his battery. No, he's still got some left, so he has managed to use his battery pretty well here. Goes very deep into the bus stop, though. We'll try and recover it on the short run to the line. A 42.8, time to beat, crosses the line. It's a 42.815, 12 thousandths off Oren. If he didn't make that deep mistake at the bus stop, that certainly would have been provisional pole. Birdie Sainz, welcome to qualifying. For the first time, he's actually right up there. It's been his biggest weakness while he's been in the league, and finally, he's right up there. Top 3 covered by 55 thousandths as Yonder's finally joined. Grush up by 28 thousandths in the first, down by a 10.5 in the middle. So, yeah, he's struggling. But we know there's certainly some time left for Birdie then in the final sector as he goes straight across, taking what his brother did last season across Les Combes. Cookster on an outlap. Same with Callum, now just started his run. Toby will obviously go again, already up by 5.8 seconds. So it looks like a mid-30 is what you're looking for if you want to fight for pole here in the first sector split. Louis, middle sector split, off in the gravel there, 16.0. I think we've seen, 14.7s, at least on Cookster. So maybe a mid-14, low 14. Christian in the pits. Adam's out there, about to finish a lap. There we go. Yonder's in his RB now. So Adam into the bus stop then. Where can he place his car? Probably into the top 10. We'll see. It's going to be close. There we go. Just a 10th ahead of Deadgun. But a bit of a gap. But the 2 Haas cars, that's definitely not representative of their pace. As Louis goes 2P9 to knock Adam down to 10th. Yeah, Yonder. There's Christian exiting the pit lane now. And Yonder will hopefully do the same too. But he'll probably start at the back with Simon on the 8th row. Birdie will head into the pit lane. We've got about 8 minutes. Is that enough for 2 runs? It's a bit nip and tuck with how long this track is, especially when you run out of fuel like Birdie has done now. So, Grush, first sector, not going anywhere. Cookster, he's I'd say about now, halfway done with the lap. Now, there we go. So we'll see if he can find any more time. Currently P5. Takes a lot of the inside curb and on the grass, and that has messed up his lap because he's invalidated. Callum, he's up by nearly 2/10, 14.7, which is what Cookster pretty much did. So this can definitely propel him up ahead of Cookster, but he's going to need a lot of improvement to find himself ahead of Grush. Very nice bus stop, though, for the Aston Martin. His teammate's currently on pole position. Callum crosses the line, and he does find a heap of time in that final sector. I thought that bus stop was good, and it's Aston versus Williams in the top 4 as Samurai's on his outlap. And yeah, Callum up to P4 then. Good stuff from Aston. Grush heads into the pit lane. 7 minutes to go then. Cookster will obviously have to go again. Toby improved to 8th while all that was happening. Fnatic crosses the line, and he stays down there in 13th. That surely can't be the pace. As Christian and I think that's Samurai, yeah, both still sharing nearly the same piece of tarmac. Eggy, the German, with the same colours as the Belgian flag. I guess this and Netherlands next week are the closest things to a home Grand Prix for him. But it is always this part of the season where he does show a pretty good result or so. But he has not been, his consistent self this season. He's not really turned up that much, so he's not really in the groove as much as previous. But we'll see what he can do. He's currently a second off, but he's diving into turn 1 now to see how much more time he can make up. Takes a lot of the inside curb, gets on the power, slight wiggle on the exit. But now down to what is probably the most famous corner in all of motorsport. Eau Rouge, Radion, up there, easily flat, blast the battery, DRS coming at you soon. And this is just the part of the track where you can just wait a bit until Laycom. You got to dial back in, see the curb, brake, right, left, get on the power again, right, slight wiggle, doesn't quite have the confidence on the accelerator quite yet. Into the hairpin. It's a very interesting one. You obviously want to not lose too much time, but it's a bit more of an outside-outside line. Through No Name, takes it very nicely. Into Puon, where you don't immediately want to jolt left, you want to wait a bit, then jolt left, which Eggy's done perfectly. Closes up right to the left to shave off a few thousandths. Into the chicane now. Very small curbs, probably the smallest curbs of any track on the calendar. On the exit. This has been a pretty tidy lap so far. Middle set to split. 14.8. He's up by 8.5 tenths though. So, hold on. Remember Cookster, I think, did a 14.7 in the middle sector. But I think he didn't have the greatest bus stop. So, wait for Eggy and also wait for Samurai. Because I think he's going quick. Can't really trust purple sectors nowadays with the track map. But just the bus stop to go then for Eggy. On the exit, pretty tidy. Still a few slides here and there, but across the line for Eggy, it's a 42.6. And Eggy goes on to provisional pole. He's found over a second of improvement. Now, what about Samurai, who's up by 3 tenths? So Samurai now crosses the line to steal pole position from Eggy by 3 tenths of 42.3. Let's see what Oren and Birdie do in response in a few minutes' time. Looks like they'll only have one shot at it. We know Birdie's got a heap of time in the final chicane. As for Oren, he's the championship leader, so don't ever discount him. As for Grush, will he be fueled for 2 runs? Can his tyres handle 2 runs? Not too sure, but it's the old duo of Samurai and Eggy that we saw at the start of last season, right back at the front, which is great to see. And yeah, great time from Eggy. Brilliant time from Samurai, 42.3. He's been on pole once this season in Japan, and he converted that into victory. Right now, he's looking good on pace, and he needs these other drivers up there around him to stop Oren, because Oren keeps qualifying 4th, 5th, 3rd, maybe even at the back, and he still manages to do everything right come the race, as he's overtaken already on the Alpine of Cal, who gets out the way there, who's slowing right down, and his teammate of Callum also just decides to get past. So I think Grush is on a lap, and I'm sure he would have preferred to be a bit more right there where the Alpine was, but nonetheless, probably cost him like a couple thousandths. But we'll see. DRS open for the McLaren. 3 minutes to go then. I think you might have one more go, but you never know. So you got to take every lap as it counts. He's down by a couple hundredths in the first set to split. There's traffic here and there, but I think that's it for Grush at the moment. For the rest of the lap, he shouldn't encounter any more cars. Bit of a lock-up into the hairpin then. But you can see he's really attacking, but he's got 3/4 of a second to find. But with it being the longest track on the entire calendar, that is very possible. Attacks Pooh on pretty nicely. On involving McLaren. See how much he's willing to give slightly wide into the right-hander of the chicane. Gets it better on the left. Trying to attack these corners. Grush, a 14.4. That's a lot better in the middle sector. As everyone else is gearing up for an outlap or is in the pit lane. Yonder's at the back. Coming around the final corner. I think he'll be quite a few seconds off the pace. So let's look back to Grush then. 5 poles in a row at the moment. Trying to make it 6. Trying to do something that no other driver in the 12 seasons we've had in EXFL Tier 2 has done before. Into the bus stop then for the McLaren. A 42.395 is the time to beat. It's a 42.8 and he can't improve enough and only goes P5. But with 1 minute 48 left, if he's got the fuel and doesn't lose about 10 seconds on his outlap, he might be able to go again. But let's see what Oren can do then. Championship leader has started his lap. Samurai is exiting the pits now with only 1 minute 30 left. And unfortunately, I don't think Samurai is going to get to the line. I really doubt it if he can go again. Same with the McLaren that's just exited the pit lane of Christian, who's up in 8th, by the way. That's a good quali for Christian so far. But yeah, Oren, first sector split. He's up by 58 thousandths, giving it absolutely everything. Is the Aston Martin. He knows there's pressure. He knows there's drivers who want to stop him. And he's still giving it everything, trying to show why he is running away with the championship at the moment. Well, by his teammate, Callum, he's invalidated. So 6th will be his best at the moment. What about Cookster? Down by 42 thousandths in the middle sector. Maybe he can find a bit in the final. But you can see that gap between Callum and Cookster. He's going to need to find a lot of time. As for Birdie, we know it's the bus stop that counts for the Williams at the moment in 4th. That would still be a brilliant result for Williams. And we know how good Birdie's race pace is. Anyway, back to Oren. Middle sector split. We've got the Red Bull in the pits of Dead Gun. Oren's up by 6.5 tenths of a second. So at the moment, he's got a 2.5 tenths deficit to Samurai, who at the moment, unfortunately, he's definitely not going to make the line. And neither is Eggy. He's way behind. So this might be the second pole of the season for Oren. He's got the McLaren in front of him. Shouldn't be too much of an eyesore as into the bus stop comes Oren. He's won here in Belgium before. I'm sure he loves this track. And across the line, it is pole position for Oren by nearly 1/4 of a second exactly. As there's the checkered flag. Samurai will be 2nd. Eggy will be 3rd at best. Cookster went up to 4th while all that was happening. As Birdie will be, I think, one of the last 2 across the line. Callum 7th. Christian 8th at best. Toby, first sector split, up marginally. Cal crosses the line. He's 10th. He goes up to 8th. Good qualifying from Cal then. As I think that's just Fnatic. Yonder. Birdie. And what about Grush? Into the first sector. He's made the line. So because it's the longest track on the calendar, we are still waiting quite a while half the grid is already done. Probably more than that. With their laps, Oren can just take it in for now because no one's really that close to him at the moment. But we'll see. Cookster, I think that's him done. He obviously, he crossed the line, didn't he? So Birdie, a 30.4 in the first sector. That is a great first sector for the Williams, who knows all his time is still in the bus stop. Has he maintained that pace? It looks like he's going a bit slowly through there. He's lost a fractional amount, but 14.1 in the first sector. Stand by. Could we be seeing a brand new pole sitter in EXFL Tier 2? Birdie, whose career best qualifying is 3rd, and it happened here a year ago. Is he about to go a few places better? It all depends on this bus stop, which he has nailed the right, nailed the left, and stand by. Is it Oren or is it Birdie Saints on pole position? Oh, he gets close, but he misses out by 1/10 of a second. Oren still on pole position. Fnatic goes up to 7th. Grush across the line. It is not 6 poles in a row, but it is P6 for the McLaren. It is pole position for Oren at Spa. The championship leader has done it again, but this time he's got someone he hasn't seen for a while on the front row. Birdie, a career best 2nd in qualifying, and Samurai 3rd Williams won't mind that too much with the other Aston down in 8th. Wow. Great effort from Birdie right there at the end. Almost. And yeah, Eggy up in 4th as well. That's fantastic to see. Yeah, so Yonder obviously starting at the back. The sole RB today, because Yannick's not racing, unfortunately. That's going to help Aston, who are, I think, 12 ahead of RB at the moment. Williams, a distant 3rd. They're trying to close the gap. But, yeah, Aston have control in both championships at the moment. But anything can happen come race day. Oh, a bit overcast for the race. Don't know if it's going to get a bit brighter, maybe get a bit darker with some rain, perhaps. It is Spa after all. 22 laps, the shortest amount of laps, but for the longest circuit. Should be a simple medium hard, hard medium. Pit stops should emerge around lap 9 to 12, depending on what tyre you're on. Maybe a bit earlier, maybe a bit later. Maybe even 8 to 14, if you can make the tyres last. As you can see in the bottom right there, Grush's garage has hard compound tyres. I wonder if that reflects what Grush is going to start on. I have no idea. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe he has, I don't know. I've never paid attention to that. I could pause and check right now, but I want to see if it's going to change at any point. So Grush is on, well, it says those are hards. But we'll see when the formation lap begins. It's going to be a long formation lap as well. Grush on mediums. And yeah, once again, for the 2nd week in a row, Birdie, the only driver in the field to start on hards, doing something different. But Yonder right at the back has gone for the softs right at the start. So he loves making his way through the field, and he's gone off to a very slow start, the formation lap. But yeah, with softs, that's certainly going to help him. And Birdie, well, that might help Oren slightly at the start, but I'm sure come lap, maybe even as early as 4 or 5, Birdie could certainly start to close in. But he's got to be... Oh, my TV's just gone black. There we go. He's got to be mindful of his surroundings. He's got his teammate right behind him, so it depends on his start. If Samurai clearly overtakes him, how much is he willing to fight him? And then when he is the quickest car on track, because let's face it, he will be. How quickly can he catch Samurai again if he does fall behind, and how much will Samurai fight it as well? They just can't trip over each other to let Oren get away, because at the moment Oren's not in a bad place when it comes to the start. But if Birdie can at least keep within a second, if he can hold position, that's going to be brilliant for him. Yeah, the number 2 on the number 2 spot at the moment. The number 1 Williams. Well, I don't know if he knows per se that the top 2 in the championship are 1 and 3 at the moment. Samurai's got 43 points to close on Oren. That gap there was 30. Obviously, Oren won last time out. Samurai was 4th, so an extra 13 went Oren's way. They're all trying to stop him. But for the first time, yeah, since the opening round, Oren is on pole. So, yeah, we'll see what can happen. He's really got on with it on this formation lap. Yeah, Birdie's not even at the bus stop yet, and Oren's already getting into position. He's going to be on that grid for a while, considering there's only people who are just exiting the end of Sector 2 of Simon and Adam, and everyone's still on the... Oh, I was going to say, no one's been disqualified yet, but Cooks has had a spin at the bus stop. But he'll recover. If this was real life, I'd say as long as he doesn't drop to last, but I don't even think that's a thing in the game. Has Birdie failed his... No, just looks a bit... Oh well. This is one of the only tracks where pole position has the inside line. And if there's any tracks where you need that to happen, it's here. But the rundown into Eau Rouge, Radion, up into Lacombe, it's all going to be interesting stuff. 16 cars in place then, here at Spa-Francorchamps. And we await the 5 lights to signal the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. Oren on the right, Birdie on the left. It's the Belgian Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go. The Aston versus the Williams into turn 1. Oren goes to the middle of the track, now goes to the racing line, goes into turn 1 in the lead. The two Williams and then the two Haas cars make contact, as that was, I think, Toby diving in, as all 16 are still facing forward. But the two Williams are still second and third, and Birdie is still ahead of his teammate. Down into a Rouge come all 16 cars, 3 wide between the McLaren, who's come off worse, I think, of Christian, as we head down into Les Combes. Riding on board with Birdie, who's gaining tremendous slipstream. He's going alongside Oren. He's going to try around the outside. No, he's going to back off for now. Oren holds on to the lead ahead of Birdie, then Samurai. Eggy this time around, Birdie hasn't spun like he did last year. Eggy cooks to Fnatic up to 6th. Grush down a place in 7th. Callum 8th. Toby 9th. As we've got yellows at the back of Simon, who's dropped down with wing damage. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that was 3 wide into Eau Rouge at one point, and I believe the McLaren was Christian, although it did look like Grush initially. But yeah, at the moment, you can see the dirty air from the drivers. Eggy all over the back of Samurai, so Oren's done what he needed to do. Let's enable everything. Biggest gainer at the moment. Yonder, of course it is. 7 places now on those soft compound tyres. 15th to 8th. He's still fighting away with Callum, but he has the inside line and he gets the place done. Yonder from 15th to 8th. Louis gained a place. Fnatic's gained a place. The top 5 staying as they are. Adam, Deadgun and Simon staying where they are as well. And yeah, Christian 3 into 1 doesn't go. But at the moment, Birdie's held position. Now he just needs to fire up those hards a little better. Oh, what's going on? There we go. As into the bus stop, Cookster to the inside, and he loses it into Eggy, and through goes Fnatic. Oh no, Cookster trying to move on the Mercedes. He's lost it like he did on the formation lap, and that's dropped himself and Eggy down to 8th, and now it's all going to kick off into turn 1. Down the inside goes Eggy on the McLaren of Grush. And he's got the place, and next up is Cookster. So Fnatic has just been given 2 big freebies, and that's freed the two Williams up a little bit. Birdie just outside DRS. Samurai not too close to his teammate to put him under too much pressure. But yeah, Birdie, you can see he's blasted everything nearly. As we look further back, Grush side by side with the Mercedes in the slight slipstream of the Red Bull, and Eggy doesn't fight it too hard. Grush in front of the Mercedes. So, big trade down to P10 of Toby, up to P3. So, yeah, Samurai will obviously be giving Birdie the hurry up. Look at the battery difference. But we know Birdie's also good at battery in terms of saving. That's something the Williams are very strong at. And, yeah, Yonder's up to... was he gaining it? No, I don't know. Well, he's basically still in that big train, and he's right behind Grush. So, yeah, tyre. There we go. Penalties... they'll be quite important today, but I don't suspect we'll see many. But Birdie's already back within a second now of Oren. He came so close heading into Les Combes. I really thought he was going to try and stick it around the outside of the Aston, but for now, he's not in too bad of a place. And this is a great haul of points Williams are taking, but they want to go one step further. Birdie, who helped Samurai out in Suzuka, holding up the pack, letting Samurai hold on to the end because his tyres were dead. At the moment, the teammate helpfulness has started off pretty well, and we'll see how that transpires come 20 laps from now. Bit of a lock-up from Birdie, who's been a bit back and forth with being inside the 1 second at the moment. He's just out of it. The detection is just before we enter Rouge. But yeah, Oren still doing a fine job. Fnatic, after his interesting quali times, is somehow 4th now, getting it right at the end. He's dispatched Cookster, who's now the lead car of this 6-car train, as that's Deadgun going off into the gravel, fighting away with Christian as they dive into Rouge, up through Radion, and we see the two Williams swap. That's Samurai getting ahead of Birdie, flying past, who didn't have the battery, I guess, and now we're seeing Grush fly past Cookster. That looked like a pretty DRS artificial move, and yeah, Grush is up into 5th now. Yeah, so Cookster would probably watch himself by the end where he finishes. Might have to add 5 seconds to it with the incident with Eggy. Is down the inside. Yonder getting his elbows out, still using those softs to good effect. And Yonder's up into P6 now. Another one bites the dust for the RB as Cookster into the dirty air. Loses a lot of time from being stuck behind the RB. So, Samurai really on it now. Overtook his teammate. He's on the back of Oren, but he has to make sure not to burn through his tyres too quickly. He did this a couple weeks ago, I believe, at the start, really trying to fight his way up, and it came to hurt him later on. But at the moment, he wants to take the fight to Oren. He's the closest contender to him 43 points. Right now, it would go to 50. But if he overtook Oren, it would go down to 36. These are crucial races in this fight for the championship between Oren running away from it and Samurai still there to fight. And right now, as we head on to lap 4, he's going to have a big chance, come le come, if he can overtake his rival. He's got more battery than him. Birdie still just hanging back for now. So into turn 1 then. Bit of a lock-up from Oren. Needs a good exit here. Gets on the power. Pretty even, Stevens, but obviously Oren, without the dirty air, pulls slightly in front, but Samurai's closing. Down through a Rouge. He's got the DRS. And could we see a change of leadership here? Birdie tried it on the opening lap. Didn't have the DRS. Samurai's trying it here on lap 4. He does have the DRS. Oren goes to the middle of the track. Samurai goes to the outside. Samurai round the outside. Samurai leads the Belgian Grand Prix. Or does he? Oren to the inside. They make contact. The two championship rivals come together and Birdie gets collected and he comes off worse because he's got wing damage. Oren into the gravel now. And it's a Williams 1-2 if Birdie goes to the inside, which he does. And he goes to the inside, making Oren go wide. Barely gives him any space. These two came close last week. And Birdie around the outside makes contact with Oren again. I think, yeah, Birdie, who stayed out last week in Hungary, came off worse with the spin into the wall with wing damage. This time round, he does have wing damage too. And after all that chaos, that's allowed Samurai to get ahead. Oren tried to stick his nose in at the end there. Probably wasn't the smartest thing. And Samurai, I think, gave him the room, and Oren slid, and that made Birdie run into the back of him and get wing damage. And now it's a Japan 2.0 all aboard the Birdie train. As you can see, everyone in the background closing up. And you can see Samurai flailing off into the distance. Birdie not giving Oren an inch. And I'm sure he's going to be really annoyed because of his wing damage. But he's still got to leave Oren some space as a yellow. I think that's the Sauber of Adam who's dropped to the back. So what does Birdie do? Does he stay out? Oren to the inside. Birdie moves to cover him off. Brakes pretty evenly. Parks it on the apex. Will stay out for this lap. And Oren, who led, is now 3 seconds behind Samurai, who's getting on with it. Yeah, as Birdie goes wide there, he's going to want the DRS. He's playing games as Oren knows it. And they're going to slow down even more. And Fnatic is watching this unfold. So Birdie will get the DRS. And Oren has barely any battery. He's going to be a sitting duck. Look at Fnatic. Could we see a double overtake here? Look at the gap just increasing between the leader and second place as Birdie is going to fly past Oren. But here comes Iowa Fnatic to overtake. Oh, and there goes Grush out of nowhere as well to get Oren and Fnatic at 2 as Oren's still getting caught up in this fight. Find a way with the Haas as round the outside goes Yonder. He's now up in a 5th, now down to 6th as the Haas gets the momentum on the exit. Down the inside goes the Haas and around the outside goes the McLaren of Grush out of nowhere. Grush comes up to be 2nd now as Oren just holds on to 4th ahead of Fnatic as in the background. But Eggy versus Cookster 2.0. Eggy now in front of the Red Bull, getting back to what happened earlier in the race. They're all going off in the dirty air at P1. This is crazy as Oren to the inside, still stuck behind Birdie. That's amazing from Grush. He was 5th or 6th. He's 2nd now in the span of a lap. All the eyes were on Fnatic, but Grush got the amazing overspeed to clear by. Samurai is absolutely gone. I'm sure Birdie knows exactly what he's doing here. Might not be great. Oren's got a 3-second now. As, yeah, it's not fair, I guess, from Birdie, because he's not giving Oren an inch when he should be allowed. But, I mean, it's typical, I guess. Oren round the outside of Birdie, side by side between the Aston and the Williams. Wheel banging, that's a terrible angle. Oren leaves Birdie, I think, just enough space. Birdie loses it slightly on the exit. And he's going to blast his battery to the inside. Fnatic making it 3 wide between Oren and the Williams. And Oren getting sandwiched. Somehow they all still face forward. And once again, Birdie backs off to get the DRS. And once again, Oren does not have that much. And this is just going to continue on and on and on. And look at this big train. So, once again, Birdie should get past Oren. But what about Fnatic? Blast your battery. And can he go through the middle? Not quite. But he gets past Oren. Now he's closing up to Birdie, who's flashing. Fnatic stays behind for now. Doesn't decide anything of it. Eggy also got Oren, who hits the back of Eggy. Slides, now hits Cookster, who goes off. Now makes contact with Toby. Oren rejoins in 7th behind his teammate now, the championship leader, in turmoil as he's dropped down the orders. Fnatic now gets his elbows out, doing what Grush did last lap and overtaking him just in a no-name as there's a bit of lag there. But Fnatic is now onto the podium. as Birdie drops ever further down. The strategy's unfolding, and a pretty even pace between Samurai and Grush. This was like how it was back in, Silverstone? Yeah, when Grush was the one keeping the pace constant to the Williams. Wow, this is a big lifeline for these two in their championship hunt and championship just in general. Yeah, I mean, obviously Birdie, like I said, is not going to be happy that Eggy went for a move on Samurai. Probably shouldn't have, and then he came off worst of it because he probably couldn't react in time to the Aston slowing down, which has given him wing damage. And he's then decided to help his teammate out massively by just being Gandalf. You shall not pass with Oren. He's been a bit more favourable to Grush, Fnatic, and now Eggy to the inside, who's already had one incident here at the bus stop on the opening lap. Eggy with a switchback, trying to overtake the Williams. A lot more battery, but I mean Birdie's got some as well. But he knows the tactics with DRS. Birdie breaks later to the inside. And will Eggy stay behind, get the DRS? Yes, he will. So Eggy should be able to fly ahead of the Williams if he uses his battery right. Fnatic closing up to Grush slightly here. But now, battery on for Eggy, trying to get back up to where he was in the Grand Prix before Cookster sent him down the order. There goes Eggy, flying past Birdie. And what about Callum, who's still in front of Oren for now? They stay where they are. Yeah, it's just a bit... that's Oren going off there. Toby around the outside of the championship leader. And now Oren's really struggling. Look at that. Toby's also got wing damage. Oren to the inside of the Haas. Gets left just enough space. And he makes his own space. And to the inside, they're still battling. Oren's going to have to go around the outside. And no name on Toby. They make slight contact. Toby corrects onto the curb. And, that was close. But the Aston prevails, and Oren stays in 7th for now. Jeez. Cal, 3-second pen. Yonder. What happened to Yonder? Oh, Yonder pitted. Wait, Yonder's doing a 2-stop. That might not even be that bad considering all this battling with this train. Fair enough. The pit stops are going to be happening soon, and I'm going to quickly change my batteries because they're low. I don't want to miss anything too dramatic. Oh, and that is the championship leader making his race bad to worse to let's just forget it. Because Oren has spun at the bus stop. I could see that coming while they put the batteries in. Oh, well, luckily he's pitting now, so I guess he's lost 1, maybe 2 places. I don't know. Wait a minute. The Astons are stacking. What is going on? What is going on with the championship leader here at Spa? It's going all sorts of wrong. And, both Alpines have a 3. Christian, who here on the opening lap didn't have the greatest of runs. What are Aston thinking? I'm pretty sure Oren and Callum do communicate as well. Maybe Oren just had to pit. He couldn't stay out one more lap. He took the risk. Anyway, Birdie, I don't think he's even changed his wing as Christian fights away with Cal there, loses it. Cal goes back on to the track, and they're still wheel to wheel. Christian to the inside, and Cal lets him go. Look at that front right on the Alpine, who's still sizing up a move to the inside on the McLaren, who turns in, and Cal gets sent into a slide as Yonder around the outside takes advantage of that. So yeah, let's have a look at... Samurai's pulled maybe 4 tenths on Grush, so still close. Callum's only now just recovered. Jeez. Samurai's got a 10th or 2 per lap over Grush, and Fnatic's quicker than Grush as well because he's closing the gap. Right, third time. Let's have a look. Birdie has changed his wing. But this is what I was trying to say, the checkmate for Birdie getting wing damage so early on the hard compound tyres. He's put the mediums on now, and those are going to be horrible by the end. Oren's got a 2nd time penalty of the race, down in 14th. Samurai's leading, and if Oren were not to score at the moment, 43 points would go down to 18. As we see Yonder making more moves round the outside of Blanchimont. Wish we caught that a little early, apologies, but he's got Christian, who's still gaining on the RB, but thinks better of it. Yeah, Cal, another typical incident he's caught up in, unfortunately, as that's into the pit lane for Louis. Grush has taken half a second out of Samurai somewhere, so he must have made a mistake. But I'll tell you what, Fnatic's the quickest of all 3 of them, because now he's within DRS of Grush. He must have just missed out on it at the detection, but he's going to get it soon. Eggy in a bit of no man's land, same with Toby. as it is. Lap 10 is probably the most optimal lap to pit in terms of tyre wear, as a Dead Gun and I think both Alpines have pitted as well. Yes, they have. So team's loving a bit of a double stack at the moment. But yeah, that was a wow, that was a crazy opening. However many laps, mainly due to this man right here and Oren. Birdie flies past Cookster to the inside. Cookster trying to hang around the outside, goes very deep, and Birdie gets the place. So Louis comes out a lap fresher than Oren's tyres and has 3 seconds less of penalties. So this has gone completely bad to worse. One input, one decision. Oren just had to back out when Samurai was overtaking him. I was waiting, like, constantly, like, Samurai's got the place. No way Oren's, if he sticks it to the inside, fair, but it was just a little late, and look at the spiral that's created, along with Birdie just not letting Oren past. It's typical racecraft from the Bird household. There's a bit of lag there with the other Aston now of Callum, who I think has undercut Birdie. Oh no, he didn't. He pit on the same lap because Birdie had to change his front wing. But we know how quick Birdie can be in these sorts of stages of the race. As Fnatic is ahead of Grush because he's now into the pits. Grush, who was actually gaining a little bit on Samurai, has decided to pit, but Samurai knew that. He covers him off, and he also comes into the pit lane. Grush puts the hard compound tyres on. Toby is pitting as well. So Samurai doing everything he needs to. He just has to cover off those behind, and he'll be fine. He'll exit the race back into third. Only Yonder and Fnatic in front of him. Fnatic yet to pit. Yonder, who has pitted. Birdie, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Yeah, like I said, he's already ahead of Callum. Comes out. Grush is just exiting the pit lane there. You can see Birdie in the background, who's going to be side by side with Eggy now, as Eggy's getting up to speed, and Birdie has got ahead and might, I don't know, I think Eggy might get DRS back on him because Birdie's used all his battery. We're about to find out. Yes, Eggy got the DRS. So Birdie a sitting duck now, and Eggy back in front of the Williams, who's now under pressure from Callum, who goes to the inside. We've seen this before, but with the two other drivers, Birdie hangs it around the outside, knowing exactly what to do with those mediums, and stays in front for now. But yeah, Samurai 5.4 now ahead of Grush. So Grush lost some time there in the pit stops. May have come down to maybe pit entry speed or pit exit speed, or maybe the turn-in, even though that's quite impossible to screw up. As Cal fights away with Adam. Simon, bit of a lonely race, unfortunately, because he got started last. Then he had a off on the opening lap. So Fnatic going one lap longer. I think he did this last time. Yonder, who remembers, already pitted, but will have to pit again. His tyres are 4 laps old. He's gone soft, medium. Will he go medium again or hard? I'm not too sure. But for what is the longest track on the calendar, it's a relatively shortish kind of pit lane. Anyway, Fnatic's in. Just decides to stay out 1 lap longer. He was around about a second behind Grush. Might come out into this little fight. He'll be praying he comes out in front of it. And then, if he has the pace advantage over Grush, he can hunt him down. But there's going to be a big fight for this podium, I think, that's going to stretch itself out to the second half of the race. Yonder now leads the Belgian Grand Prix. Samurai up to second. Fnatic pits onto the hard compound tyres. There goes Grush, and the 3 behind him. I have a feeling this is going to be a bit close, but the turn 1 is cut quite massively from the Haas. And look at that. Fnatic's nearly overcut Grush. So he comes out well in front of Eggy, Birdie and Callum, and Fnatic game on for P2 now, because now he's got the DRS. It's just a straight line. You don't really need to fire the tyres up for that. And Grush, with no battery, Fnatic has played this brilliantly. Fnatic up into P2 in just his second Grand Prix in EXFL Tier 2. He was 7th last time out, as Birdie's back in front of Eggy. As Toby now gets a time penalty. He's down in 11th, so that really didn't work out. Top 8, no pens. Oren in 9th for track position-wise, and well, until Yonder pits, I guess. But with 6 seconds of pens, with how quick Yonder is, especially after last week with Hungary, I'm sure he'll be able to close that back up if we look to the gap. Yeah, definitely. So, Samurai 6 seconds ahead of Fnatic, and then as he's overtaken Grush. But look at that, Birdie has brought Eggy and Callum up to the McLaren and Haas. But we know Birdie has to pit again, or if he doesn't, then his mediums are going to be absolutely shredded come the end of the race. We're halfway done. So Grush and Fnatic, they don't really have to be too mindful of Birdie. They can let him go, I guess, but his mediums are going to be falling off kind of soon. He's got a lot of battery. Grush is trying to save his because he used it all. And Callum trying to hang on with the least amount of battery of these 5 cars. As that's Birdie all over the back of Grush on the outside. Trying to hang it round. Might go for a switchback. Decides to stick it out to the inside. And, yeah. That was not right. But, it was kind of obvious. But, yeah, Grush has dropped now behind Eggy and Callum because of that. Getting left no room on the exit by the Williams, who's now going to come under pressure from Eggy, who could be sniffing a podium here. Well, Grush had it, but after that, he doesn't. We got a yellow in the first corner. I think that was either Louis or Toby. Anyway, let's look back to the battle towards the front, as that's Eggy. Not even burning battery. Gangster from the Mercedes who gets in front of the Williams. Now Callum trying to do the same. That is the risk you take when you start on the hards. If you come up into trouble, whether it's your fault or not, which it wasn't at the time, you're kind of stuck. So, 6 seconds, 2 Samurais. Louis gets a second time pen. The gap was around that. But we'll see, with 10 laps to go. How good is Fnatic's pace? How good is Samurai's tyre management? As he's closing up on Yonder as well. Fnatic just checking his mirrors here and there, but it looks like he's getting his foot down. Grush will not be happy at what Birdie did there, because that's cost him 2 positions to Eggy and Callum. Eggy's been through a lot this race and still managed to fight his way back at the 4th. As for the one who put him down the order to begin with, Cookster, just once again, the race has unfolded and he's just not quite had enough race pace to keep with those in front. But yeah, if they keep squabbling, even Oren could join this. But yeah, I mean, I know one of his warnings might be a bit iffy, maybe 2 with when he was fighting Birdie, but who knows. 5.6 now. Fnatic is really chasing Samurai down. He's taken 4 tenths out of Eggy. 84, 48. Birdie will probably try and overtake Eggy this lap. Callum, the lead Aston Martin at the moment. Yonder trying to go as long as he can. Crowd cheering Yonder on. He said he's going to try and break a record today. Most podiums without a win. Last week he equaled it. 8. He's going for his 9th Tier 2 career podium. But yeah, I don't know. As we see swaps. Birdie getting past Eggy. That was pretty obvious. And Callum and Grush staying behind for now. Toby closing up to Cookster, who goes defensive. Toby to the inside. Looks like he's got the move done. Which he has. Yeah, that was a bit late, but yeah, all well and good from Cookster and Toby. Birdie, like I said, in front of Eggy, trying to allow this train of cars closer towards Fnatic, who's yeah, gap's kind of stabilised at the moment. It looks like throughout the first 2 sectors, Fnatic and Samurai are quite even, and then in the last sector, it looks like Fnatic really does gain a lot. Samurai's kept the gap. Actually, he's lost a 10th to Yonder on this lap. 2 tenths. I wonder if Samurai's just looking after his tyres, because he knows that's maybe the only issue today. He's been given a big help from his teammate today. Maybe for the second time this season that will help him with a win, but still got a long way to go. Birdie's used up all his battery, trying to get within a second of Fnatic. He's left Eggy behind. Jeez. Yonder staying out still. How old are his tyres? 8. Okay, so he's got a lap or 2 left. And, I don't know. He could probably pit for mediums again if he has another set of those. Because he joined in quali, didn't he? So he either got the glitch where he gets an extra set of softs, or maybe he didn't even use all 3 sets. I don't think he did, so glitch or not, he's using what he should be given, so that's good. Birdie with barely any battery. To be fair, Fnatic only has like 10 more than him. Bit more spread out now with 3rd, 4th and 5th. Eggy under pressure from Callum now, but he has no battery. Grush has no battery. This is what they need in F1 in real life, this battery stuff. We've been so accustomed to it in the F1 games for so many years, and like, how hard is it to... Like, I know they kind of introduced something last race with the battery, but yeah, it can't be that hard to just equip. I remember, what was it, back on 2016, the Delta used to be to the 1000th. Now it's always just a couple hundredths. It updates every couple seconds, or every like second or whatnot. So it's definitely possible, but oh well. Anyway, Samurai is closed up to now a second behind Yonder. Fnatic's taken half a second out of Samurai as Birdie trying to close up again. As Grush has now lost a second, lost DRS, should I say, because he's over a second behind Callum, who's trying to still fight Eggy for what could be still a potential P3, because obviously Birdie's tyres are going to fall off, and Yonder finally pits, frees up Samurai, who gets a little helping of DRS on this start-finish straight, and Yonder into the pits. You'd assume he'd put mediums on, but it's understandable if he puts hard compound tyres on, but it's Yonder, he might even put softs on, who knows. As he's coming up to his garage. And what colour stripe are they? They're yellow. So yeah, another set of mediums for the RB. He is going to be one quick car towards the end like he was last time out. He comes out behind Oren. He'll cut the inside of turn 1. So he'll get back in front of Toby. But on the power, we'll see how close Toby gets. And he's not got that much battery. So Toby will get DRS. Let's look quickly further front. Callum, no battery. But he's gaining on Eggy. Closing up. I'm pretty sure if he did blast whatever battery left he has, maybe, but for now, no. Toby gets in front of Yonder. I'm sure Yonder will get back in front of him soon enough. How far is he off? 17 seconds off the lead, but I'm sure the win is probably a bit out of reach, so I don't know, 7, 8 laps to go. He's got to gain around a second as that's Callum off into the grass there, and that's allowed Grush through. Don't know what happened there. I'm pretty sure Callum wasn't fighting Eggy. He's just made a mistake there, I think, on his own. So that's freed up a position for Grush. These three, I think, know they're fighting for the podium. However, you never know from Birdie if he can somehow make those mediums last. But, okay, look at that front left tyre. I mean, front right tyre. Actually, you know what? Look at both of the front left and right tyres. They're both horrible. As Yonder, like I said, has got back in front of Toby. So now he hunts down Oren. So, wow, that's off for the Aston. That might be another warning. It's been a horrible race for the man who started on pole. Yeah, both times he started on pole this season. It hasn't exactly been the greatest of races. Started on pole in the opening round, finished 6th. He spun at turn 4 in the first few laps. And in the first few laps again, he has dropped down the order. So, Birdie is in. Yeah, I really didn't think he would go to the end there. So, he's got a lot of work to do, a bit like Hungary. But once again, maybe the fastest lap is in order. He has been really climbing up the ranks in the fastest lap list. I think he's got 7 now. The record's 11, so this might be an 8th, but he's outside the points now. But with no pens and 3 ahead with, we'll see. Anyway, Callum, who made that mistake, is trying to hang on and fight back with Grush. They're not blasting their battery. They've got no battery, so you may as well blast what's left of it. And I'm so confident you can get alongside or even ahead, but nope. As that is the order we have now, official order I think now. Samurai leads the Belgian Grand Prix, 4.5 seconds off Fnatic, who has been chipping away at that lead bit by bit. And well, we'll see what it is come the end of the race. But Fnatic, who joined Tier 1, did 2 races, finished what, 7th and 8th. Thought maybe they're just a bit too quick. Let me drop down to Tier 2 in a Haas. That sounds a bit familiar, doesn't it? Adam last season. And he went on to become champion. Well, a year ago, and then last season, the following season, he went on to win the title. So, yeah, Fnatic, who in his first race in Tier 2 last week finished 7th as well. Bit of a lonely race, best of the rest kind of ordeal. Has been silently just making his way up today. And a P2 finish right now for a first podium would be fantastic for the Haas car. I never spoke to Fnatic, I don't think, as well, so that's good. And yeah, how cool would this be to see Eggy back on the podium as well? Oren got his 20 as a Birdie easily clears Louis there. Oren got his 22nd podium. He's not enjoying that bus stop. Oren got his 22nd podium of his Tier 2 career last week. He equalled Eggy's amount. These two both have 22. They are both joint first for most podiums without a world championship. And Eggy's about to make that 23 as Yonder's already caught Oren round the outside. Oren playing DRS games to take the piss, but I don't think Yonder cares. He's going to clear by on the Aston, but now we'll see if Oren can fight back. But Oren's in the dirty air there, and Yonder trying to break the slipstream. But yeah, we'll see. As we've got yellows, Cal's out. I think that's in the pit lane. That's fine. Looking back to Oren then. Round the outside goes the championship leader on the RB. Breaks late to the inside. Oren goes wide to give him the room. Round the outside goes Yonder to place his car perfectly with those much better tyres. And he's got the move confirmed now. He weaves in front of him to say, ha, take that, as Oren will now drop down to 7th at best. And considering he has time pens, Toby and Cookster and Birdie, Oren could finish 10th here at this rate. But yeah, he's been done. He knows he's been done, and he's just got to try his best now to get on with the rest of his race. Yonder from 15th will be 6th at minimum at the moment, but he's already quickly catching Callum, who's lost a heap of time to Grush, who's trying to fight with Eggy for this podium, and Fnatic with, well, as soon as they cross the line, 5 to go, as Birdie is already ahead of Cookster. He's that quick that I just can't keep up with the overtakes. Louis, once again, just missing out on points. Same with Christian. Dead Guns on his own. Adams on his own. Simon's not even... Actually, Simon's not going to finish last at the moment. Fair enough. 5 to go then at the Belgian Grand Prix. Samurai, who started 3rd, got past his teammate, then got past Oren, had a little ordeal, left the room, and that meme of that Thomas the Tank Engine plane or whatever flying in front of all the bombs and whatnot, that's him, and all the chaos has unfolded behind him, I guess. So Yonder, 1 second behind. Will he get under that before the detection? It's coming up. He is, easily. Very similar battery levels as we see Christian ahead of Louis because he's into the pit lane. Can Yonder from 8/10ths back get the Aston Martin? Probably not. Louis retires in the pit lane. That's both Alpines out, unfortunately. Nah, Yonder's just a bit too far behind. Grush has caught up to Eggy, though. He wants this podium. You know, started 6th, had a bit of a mishap with a Birdie, sent him wide. He was, I think, ahead of Eggy. So he's going to do what Eggy's been doing this race, trying to fight back. And yeah, both these guys deserve this podium, and I think they're going to fight it out. But this guy wants his 9th podium in Tier 2, and he's not a million miles away. Callum's under big sorts of pressure here, loses the car slightly. Yonder has the momentum. DSM Yonder is into the top 5 now. And as we see Louis Dot disappear, 4 seconds then to a podium. This is going to be fun. Fnatic, I think at the moment he's just going to run out of lap. He is taking the gap down bit by bit, a few tenths every lap, but I don't think it's enough at the moment. Samurai just needs to make sure, A, look after his tyres, which at the moment, yeah, they look alright. And B, time pens. Do not get a 3 sec, otherwise he's going to lose a lot of valuable points. This has been a big lifeline for him today with Oren. And well. Birdie coming up to the back of Oren. This will be fun. There's quite a few battles going on, though. Yonder making Callum and Toby close up to these two now. Yeah, he's got to lock in. He's been involved in some last lap Belgium drama, whether that's been good or bad overtake-wise. Birdie, there it is. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 44.6, blimey. No one's even in the 45s. Jeez. Right then, Grush. Closing up to Eggy then. He's blasted absolutely everything. Eggy has a lot more battery than him. He should probably burn it because here comes Grush in the slipstream. Pulls to the left and looks like he is going to get the place ahead of the Mercedes. Round the outside. Eggy did not fight that one bit. Interesting. Yonder. Still got to push. And in these laps to come, how much is he going to take out of his tyres to close up to these guys? How easy is it going to be to overtake someone who has got DRS on the car in front? I think he's going to have to do it in the corners, especially here when he got past Callum, who's now under pressure from Toby. He can let Toby through, just has to stick within 3 seconds. Here is Birdie, though, all over the back of Oren, gets on the power, says bye-bye, and yeah, that was all she wrote. Birdie into P1, gets in front of the Aston. What did I say? Cookster might have a pen at the end. Won't change anything at the moment. Birdie, will he get some pens? Maybe. I don't know. If he gets 1 pen, doesn't change anything. Right now, Oren has to worry about Cookster. The gap's borderline 6 seconds, so we'll see. Quick check of tyres. Yeah, same tyre life. Yeah. So yeah, Fnatic with that 1 lap fresher advantage. It's helped him, but not quite enough. Samurai, 3 to go then. He has to be, what, more than a second a lap slower than Fnatic to come under any sort of real pressure. So Grush in front of Eggy. Yonder, who's gained about a second and a bit this lap. It's going to be close. 3-way fight for the podium. And all 3 of them definitely deserve it. They've had to fight so hard for this one. Now it's Eggy's turn. got double the battery of the McLaren in front. Just slightly turning it on and off as he gets a bit closer. As you can see the McLaren flash. Now Eggy strikes. And I haven't said this for a while. Here comes Eggy on the straight to get past Grush. He's back up into third. Toby getting past Callum. Like I said, Callum just has to stick within 3 seconds, but Birdie is charging towards them. Gap's really staying constant. Oh, never mind. I was just about to say the gap's staying very well. I did. Oh my God. Oren off and around. Championship leader into the wall. We got no laps left for a safety car anyway. But I was going to say Oren's close to losing 9th here. As, well, he's definitely going to lose it now. He's lost his front wing. This has been a horrible race for the Aston Martin. The only race this season I think he's not scored points in was that mare in Bahrain with both Astons. But I think we might see a second race this season, that was close, where Oren doesn't score points. He's in 10th, and Christian, who hasn't scored a point all season, is closing up on the championship leader. Christian will be loving this. Same amount of pens, but he sees the guy who's been winning the championship against someone who's not really been too involved this season, and this will be his highlight so far. As Garush is close to Eggy. Yonder's closing as well. 2 laps to go then. This is going to be interesting. Birdie's caught these two as well. Oren's been overtaken by Christian. Christian's going to get a point. And Oren at the moment is not going to score any points. Ouch. I'm sure he'll try and bounce back in Netherlands. Of course, Netherlands, the track where he literally renamed himself to winner of the Dutch Grand Prix. And I'm sure he will try and do that as well. As he can probably pit and go for fastest lap. He's got 45 seconds to dead gun. And he speeds as well. Probably will still beat dead gun. But yeah, Oren trying to go fast lap. Meanwhile, what's happening? Pretty simple. Bog standard DRS move for Garush on Eggy. They're swapping every lap, meaning next lap, it's Eggy's turn to fight back at Garush with Yonder joining the party. Oh, Oren's actually retired from the race. So never mind. Oren is out. Belgium, that's usually served up quite a shock here or two in the past, especially at this corner, when Thies, the Season 6 champion, happy birthday Thies, for today as well, crashed out of the race and caused drama in the championship. Well, Oren's out, and that could be a big moment. From what we've seen, Oren has been pulling away, and we really thought the title fight was off. But with him out and his closest rival, P1 at the moment, a lot could change. A lot could change indeed. Is this the race that turns the tables for the championship destiny? We'll see. A lap and a bit to go then. We've still got a lot of fights going on. Birdie has cleared Callum. And it looks like he's soon going to clear Toby too. Bit of lag going on there. As well, there we go. Birdie's already past the Haas. So, Samurai is starting his 22nd and final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Fanatic behind him has driven brilliantly to close the gap. But here we go. A three-way fight has been shaping up all race for the final spot on the podium. Grush, 30%. Eggy, 60%. Yonder, 50%. He's closed up, but maybe it's a lap too late. It's all down to Eggy then. Can he overtake Grush for a podium, or can Grush hang on to P3? Blast absolutely everything, which is what Grush is doing. Eggy can see the red dot flashing. Eggy, give it everything. Last lap, DRS wide open. He's gaining in the slipstream of the McLaren. It's going to be close. He moves to the left. And there goes Grush, and Eggy around the outside. Grush breaks late. Eggy around the outside has got the podium place that he wanted. It's been a struggling race after the opening lap with Cookster, but he's got Grush on the last lap. He had to work for that one, as Yonder still trying to push on, but we'll see. By the way, has anyone got any fuel issues? Nope. Eggy charges on then, already a second ahead of Grush, who's been trying absolutely everything. Pretty similar, what do you call it? Tyre life. Now remember, was it Samurai a season or two ago where he got a penalty on the last lap and gave Square Giraffe his first podium? As Simon leaves. Doesn't matter. He's coped well, and it looks like, I mean, Yonder might get close to Garush, but out in front, Samurai, who won in Japan, the Samurai in the land of the rising sun. He's going to strike again here at Spa. It is something he so desperately would have been hoping for. He needed this 43 points he went into today trailing. It's going to go down to 18. Samurai wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Williams are back on top. Fnatic gets his first podium in just his second race. A P2 finish. Fantastic for him. And Eggy is going to come home for a podium finish. P3 at a Grush and Yonder. And there was an incident further back there with Toby as Birdie crosses the line in 6th. Callum 7th and Toby will finish 8th. I think even though there was an incident, I think he would have been 8th anyway because he has the 3-second penalty. Cookster will be P9. Bit of a distant race, but it's a couple points. And Christian is going to make it his first points finish this season in P10. Well done to him. Deadgun will be 11th. Adam 12th. Simon left at the end. But Samurai is back. 43 down to 18 is the championship fight back on. Last week at his home race in Hungary, he was so devastated to miss out on a podium and come home P4 again. 1 week later at a track he much prefers, he has dominated this race, never looked back after the incidents behind him, and he's kept it all under control. The cool head won out in the end, and Samurai brilliantly wins here in Spa. Fantastic stuff for him. Well done to Fnatic as well. It'll be great to hear what these two have to say. Don't know about Eggy, if he might still have his Xbox thingy, but yeah, what a great race. What a dramatic race. Thoughts for Oren as well. He tried, but I think he just got involved in too much. Both his fault and I think mainly obviously not his fault, but yeah. Wow. Alright, let's quickly get all this and then we'll get our top 3 in the party. There we go, clear. There we go, we got the screenshot. Disappear, come on. There we go, race director. It's actually a bit of a long one to be fair, turned out. But all good, there we go, right. View gamer card, there we go. Hope you all enjoyed that race, that was a very fun one. Party, that's for Eggy. I don't know. I do still have his Xbox, that's good. Party, there we go. Right, we'll wait for the top 3 to join then. Oh, well, no one's joined yet. See Samurai and Fnatic still in the lobby. Come on, guys. Maybe I'll just make it open. Don't know if there's an issue.
Yeah, they said there's issues joining or something. I don't know. There we go. All right, let's try that. Right. There we go. We have them joining now. Right. Hopefully. There we go. Right. We have all three joining the party now. Looks like my party was being weird as per usual. Right. Eggy, are you there, mate? Hello? Eggy. There you are. Have you included your audio? Perfect. Fnatic, are you there, mate? Have you included your audio?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Martin, are you there, mate?
Yep.
Have you included your audio?
Yes.
Perfect. Right. Let's get into this. Samurai, you have just won the Belgian Grand Prix in fantastic style. That has got to be one of the best feelings I think you've ever gone through, with especially how the championship has changed now. But yeah, that must have been very fun. Fnatic, congratulations. The first time ever talking to you as well. So very well done on a fantastic P2 in just your second race. Amazing pace. And Eggy, welcome back. It's great to see you back on the podium. And like I said, what is pretty much the closest thing to a home race, both this and next week, geographically. So yeah, very well done to all three of you. Let's start off with our race winner then. Samurai, wow, that was quite the dramatic first few laps. Everything happened behind you after you got the job done early on. So yeah, just take us through what happened with qualifying in the race from your point of view.
I mean, the qualifying didn't go as I planned, because I think you might have seen it. I couldn't manage to take my last ride because I ran out of time, and yeah, at the time I was on the podium, not the podium, on the pole position, and I thought maybe no one can beat me, but unfortunately, Bertie and Oren did. So yeah, it was really unfortunate. I thought I was feeling I could do much better than what I did in qualifying, but yeah, it's really unfortunate that I ran out of time.
No, yeah,
For
that's
the
fair
ra-
enough. Yeah, oh, sorry, yeah, Carol.
Yeah, sorry. For the race, the first few laps I was like chilling behind Birdie, and I was like, maybe I can get Oren and I can be much faster, and I think he understood me when I tried to be behind him so close, and yeah, after that, the next lap after that, the race with Oren, I think it didn't go as he planned, because I overtook him and he sent it on me, and I don't think that was his plan, and Birdie got him after that. So yeah.
Yeah, and after the, because I'm guessing from your POV, you were fully ahead, even though Oren probably shouldn't have gone for it. You still left the room, I believe, and it all just kicked off after. And were you quite surprised to just see that gap keep going up and up and up to 4 seconds?
Yeah, yes, because I was like, I couldn't imagine what happened. I didn't know what was Birdie plan, and after that I saw him hit, I don't know what lap, but so early with the hearts, I was like, I have no idea what's his plan. So yeah, it was. I have no words actually. So
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, when you start on hards and you get wing damage, you're kind of checkmated at the moment. You either have to live it out or make it a two-stop. Either way, it all kicked off behind, and you never looked back. You defended when Grush pitted. You pitted the same lap to cover him off, and Fnatic was chasing you down a little. The gap was around 7-ish seconds, and he got it down to nearly just under 3. Was there ever any worry that maybe he could get you, like with warnings or tyre wear?
Actually, my tire wear was really, really, really awesome today because
Oh, that's
I
great.
think my hearts were on 50, not even 50%. So I think I managed really good with the hearts. But yeah, after I seen him put it under 3 seconds, I was like, I have no idea how many warnings I have, but I have to watch for it. So yeah, I was a little bit afraid, but the pace was really good. I was not thinking about he will catch me, but he was really fast. It's a really, really, really great race from him.
Yeah, exactly. And so elephant in the room. I'm pretty sure you obviously saw Oren retired from the session. I think even at that point you knew you were going to get a lot of points on him, but that is the full clean sweep. 43 points has gone down to 18. You are the closest contender to Oren, and I think third backwards now is Grush, but he must be like, I don't even know, 50 something. So right now, I think it's only you and Oren that are going to fight for this title. We've still got 8 races to go. Netherlands next week, a track that Oren's pretty good at in the past. What are your thoughts about Zandvoort next time out?
I not my strongest track, but I like it because there is always chaos there with pit stops and everything because it's a short pit stop, I would say, and yeah, I think we will get a safe car there, or maybe rain. Everything can happen.
36 laps. Same with Brazil and Austria for most laps of any race this season. Obviously, a bit opposite to today with the least amount. Just double checking something. Grush has 2 wins. Right, so yeah, after Grush getting his second win of the season, now you have, and I guess final thoughts. Just how are you feeling after that amazing win? After you being so distraught after another P4 last week at your home race, you've come here 1 week later to a track that you said you very much enjoy more, and you've it couldn't have gone better. 25 points over your rival as well. Just final word. What are the thoughts and emotions? Probably should have asked that first.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I have no words actually because I'm just so happy because everything I wanted to achieve in this race I did, so I couldn't have done it better. So yeah,
Awesome.
it's
And,
it's really amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, tyre wear. That was a great thing to add on because that is probably the thing that has needed the most work. So that's great to hear. Right, well done, and we'll move on
Thank
to
you.
our second place finisher, Fnatic. Wow, what a race! You qualified. What was it 7th or something? 7th, 8th, something like that.
7th, I think. Yeah.
So after the little incident at the front, which backed up the pack, there was certainly going to be a lap where whoever was at the front of the train was going to get absolutely done by everyone behind. And after all of that, you managed to scythe your way through brilliantly. Just take us through what goes through, like what are your preparations throughout quali? Because throughout most of it, I keep seeing you around 4 odd seconds off the pace, and then right at the end you do a lap good enough, and then come race day, your pace just becomes electric. You were certainly one of the quickest, and really chasing him down. What were your thoughts throughout the race? And did you think at any point towards the end you could maybe catch Samurai?
Well, with the quali scenario, in the last couple of games, 24 and 25, it's not particularly been my strongest. So what I tend to do, I do something a bit to what Lobster does. I do a few slow laps on high fuel just to get a feeling, because that seems to help me when I then go and do my one-shot quali, basically, to try and get as far up the grid as possible And as my setups are obviously built for race pace, that's where my race pace comes into play and tyre wear. So I maximise tyre management and as maximum race pace as possible. But obviously, then few laps where it was getting a bit chaotic, I was just trying to stay on my line, try and avoid anything that was happening, and not try and get too deep into the battle. Because I think that moment up Eau Rouge, where I think Grouche got past us on the straight, it got a bit too close for my liking, so I just backed out, and then from there I decided to go for the overcut, which I've always tended to do in league racing. I always like to have slightly fresher tyres over everyone around me just to try and do something different. But Samurai's pace was tad too quick for my liking, but fair plays to him.
Yeah, fair enough. Fantastic analogy throughout that race. I was actually going to ask about the overcut, and yeah, that was fully fair. One lap in other tracks might not make too much of a difference. Around here, it can. At some points, you were around nearly half a second quicker than him per lap. I think at one point, if you were half a second every lap, I think you would have overtaken him on the last lap.
Yeah,
But,
I
like you
was
said, doing the maths.
I was hoping that it would stay like that till the end. So I thought there was a slight chance in them first two, 3 laps, and then obviously it started to even out a bit. So I just backed off a little and just crawled my way to a great P2, which I wasn't really expecting considering the pace of Orr and Birdie in quali. So it's better than what I expected.
Yeah, exactly. I remember this is just your second race in Tier 2. Last week was a bit of a maybe just a lone one. You were in 7th, a bit on your own. And then with the qualifying today, it kind of looked like a similar trajectory, and then the race just absolutely went in a complete different direction. I literally said before we went into the race, I said anything can happen. Who knows? Very well done, and welcome to EXFL Tier 2. You've made your name now. The newest podium sitter in Tier 2, like what, I don't know, like the 100th and something newest. But yeah, very well done, and I can't wait to see what you can do for the final half of this season. It's a bit similar to Eggy and Samurai will know what I'm on about, but halfway through last season we had quite a few new drivers come in around Hungary, and they were the stars of the second half, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be a star for the next few weeks, and it'll be great to see what you can do. So yeah, very well done, first podium, cherish it, and we'll see what else you can achieve. Moving on to P3. Eggy, thank you for patiently waiting. You're back on the podium, your 23rd Tier 2 podium and your first this season. Is Eggy back? Who knows, but very well done today. You qualified, was it what, 4th, 5th, something like that? 4th, and by the end of the opening lap, you had a incident with Cookster. Just take us through what happened there. It looked like he maybe just sent it and you got collected or something. Yeah, you dropped down to around 7th, 8th, but you managed to fight your way back through with all the chaos that was happening. And after all the pit stops finally got made, you were fighting away with Grush back and forth, which led to you in the last lap behind. And still had to work for it quite a lot. It got very close towards Lake Com. I think Grush did try to brake as late as he could, but you hung it around the outside great. It's not the first time, like I said, the last lap at Spa, you've been involved in some great overtakes and battles. So yeah, classic Eggy stuff right there. It's great to see you back. Question I'm not used to asking much, but how are the towards the end of last season when you had all those, like, I think black screens or screen freezers or Wi-Fi issues? Is there any update on that? Because you look a lot more dialed in with these races you've been doing lately. Okay, that's very promising to hear. Hopefully that continues, because remember, it was the race we're going to next week, Netherlands. It was that race last season where the issues started to happen towards the end of the race, of the stage. So maybe the end of this season can be the end of last season that should have happened. Maybe we'll know. Who knows? We'll see. But it's very good to hear that the last couple of races now there's not been any issues, because you deserve to race like everyone else with none of those annoying issues. So yeah, very well done. Very much a P3 deserved podium. Both you, Grush, and Yonder all deserved it. Really, you had great races to fight through. So yeah, very well done. And I'm going to quickly go back to Fnatic. Fnatic, what are your thoughts on Netherlands next week? Forgot to ask.
Well, it's never particularly been a track that I've enjoyed on the games or in real life, so it'll probably be a bit like Hungary, just try and maximise qualifying as best as I can and hope I don't get into any incidents like I did on lap 1 last week, and just try to maximise my race pace and my usual tyre wear advantage.
Fair enough. And Eggy, same question. What are your thoughts on Netherlands next week? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, final. Well done to Eggy for P3, Fnatic for P2, and very well done to Samurai, who wins again in Season 12, closes the gap tremendously down from 43 to 18, is the championship fight back on, because right now it looks promising. 8 rounds to go then, and we're starting to tick off the boxes now. We're in that sort of stage of the season, and it's getting very interesting indeed. So yeah, well done to the top 3. Unlucky for Oren, I'm sure he'll bounce back next week. And yeah, that has been Spa, on to Netherlands.